Hey everyone, thank you for joining me as I break down the good and the bad of part 1 of season 4 of Ozark, one of my favorite shows on Netflix. Does it hold up or does the season feel unfulfilling? Season 4 picks up right where Season 3 left off. The Birds are now stuck working with Omar Navarro directly, the drug kingpin from Mexico that's been controlling their lives from the shadows. They are now in direct contact with him. But to their surprise, he doesn't want them to continue running his operation. He wants out. And he's now given them the impossible task of figuring that out, for how to get him out of the system and be protected by the US government. Let's start off with the good. Okay, the one word I can always describe Ozark with is pressure. The pressure on each character to try to figure out themselves in a difficult situation, how to get out of it. The pressure of how to deal with the family drama that's happening internally. The family drama is always at the center of everything that's going on here because they're dealing with these crazy situations, dealing with gangsters and drug dealers, the FBI, CIA, and they're just trying to live another day. And the Birds, that's all they've been doing for the past 3 seasons, and they finally have a clear way to get out of the situation that they're in now. But now that they're given a task that seems impossible, they're inching towards completing something of getting Omar Navarro from under controlling his drug empire anymore, but also protected by the US government so he can freely move. It's something that nobody believed that they could do, but they try their hardest because their life depends on it. And you feel that pressure in every episode, every moment. Almost every mistake could be their last decision that they make, and you sit there holding your breath, hoping that they can survive whatever situation they're in, but something always comes through and causes trouble, whether it's family drama or another party that they have no control over doing something that they weren't supposed to do. It's constant tension in every episode that makes everything palpable. And we have a bunch of new players in this season, a bunch of new characters, like obviously Omar Navarro. He was introduced at the ending of season 3, but now he's a full-on cast member in season 4, and the actor that plays him is great. He's this very calm but subtle but dangerous feeling drug lord that you can tell that he just cares about his family, and he's doing the best he can with his running his organization to protect them and to provide for them. But he's realizing after what happened in the last season where almost all his kids got killed at a Christian, and he needs to get out and needs to protect his kids, and he sees that the Birds are very capable and they're the only ones that can help him, because there is now another issue going on his side where it's his nephew Javi, which is one of the new characters stand out so well. He's this slick talking, smooth moving kind of guy who you think might be on your side, but at a split second he can turn into complete rage and go off the rails. And he's very aggressive. He's not like Omar in a way where he's trying to see how things play out, give people chances. Javi wants to get things done. Now he wants to get it done with on his hands alone. He does not trust the Birds, which creates an interesting dynamic where Omar has to play a game with making sure his nephew doesn't know what's going on, and also not protecting the Birds too much. So it's a very interesting triangle that goes on with this season. Another character that's introduced in this season is a PI who's looking for Helen because we know that Helen was going through a divorce, and now her husband has set a PI to find out where she is. As the audience knows and the Birds know, she's dead, but no one else knows that, and the Birds don't want other people to know that. So he's snooping around, and he brings a lot of much needed levity and humor to the show because it's so dreadful all the time and so many bad things happening. It's about a lot of heavy topics. He comes in and he's just kind of this dorky slinky PI guy that's trying to just get the information, but he's very, very good at his job, and he causes a lot of issues, and I can see him causing even more in part 2. The returning cast is still exceptional. Jason Bateman as Marty Bird is amazing. Laura Kinney as Wendy Bird is also amazing with how they're working together because they have to, but you can tell that they don't like each other, and once they're out of this situation, it probably will split. But they continue to be great. But the character Jonah, the son, who didn't really have much to do in the first couple seasons, he's grown up a little bit more in this season. He's got to do a lot more. He's given a bigger role, more significant role in this season. He does a great job rebelling against his parents, choosing sides that he shouldn't choose, and just doing things that were very frustrating for you as a viewer who wants the birds to get out of this safely, but you understand because of what's happened to him and what's happened to his family. One issue that most watchers who watch Ozark have, even if you love the show like I do, or you watched a couple episodes you dropped off, is the pacing of the first couple seasons. And I can agree that it's very slowly paced. It's been a very big slow burn, and this season is still a bit of a slow burn, but it's the best pacing that out of all the 3 seasons. Things are moving, things are happening in every episode that feel important. There's something in there to grab your attention. I've never felt bored at the quieter moments, because even with quieter moments, it's giving you information that was important for the plot. And I blazed through these 7 episodes. It's a little bit over 7 hours of content, and I blazed straight through them, and I wanted more right away. Let's talk about the bad. One thing I could say is that Charlotte, the older sister in the Bird family, she still doesn't have much to do in this season, and it felt like they were trying to expand her role, make her more like her mother, because Jonah was becoming more like her dad, but they still didn't have much for her to do. She did a lot of errands. She didn't feel like she had a lot of autonomy. She was just doing what her parents was telling her to do. So hopefully the character gets expanded in part 2 more, because they're letting her do a little bit more. But in this season, she was the weakest character. Another thing that I felt was that this season ended in a weird way. It wasn't fully satisfying as I wanted it to be, because it just dropped off in a weird spot. It came with this very great emotional moment and then left us off in the middle of it. It didn't get a climax and then fade to black. So hopefully we get part 2 fast, because I really wanted it bad. But I know this is just part 1, but I wish it would have ended a little stronger. Now let's talk about my verdict. Ozark had me on the edge of my seat through the 7 hours that I sat there and watched this show. I thought it was really entertaining and engaging, and I was holding my breath, hoping that these characters can make it through another day. Long-standing characters whose first 3 seasons perished and died in very crazy fashions, and the weight and the stakes have been going up more and more, and every episode I felt like I don't know if these characters are going to survive through it. So for that, and also just all the great twists and turns that the season had, I give this show a season a B+. Drop your thoughts below for the part 1 of season 4 of Ozark. What are your theories for part 2? And do you think this show has a little bit too much cussing? It started, I know that they cuss a lot in the first 3 seasons, but I feel like it started getting very noticeable. Like almost every other line, it was a cuss. It just felt weird. It took me out sometimes, because I was like, why are they cursing so much, even in situations where they didn't have to? But yeah, like the video if you liked my review, subscribe to the channel to join my community, and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of my next video. I hope you have a great day and be well.